Episode number 385.
So in podcasting, what you'll find is that you're very passionate about it, but you walk this line of who am I as a person? How do I relate to an audience as a person? And how do I welcome them into what the topics or the product that I'm working on? It's a nuanced and kind of difficult thing, especially in the beginning, because what people will find is that big emotions come up.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, you know your boy is always fired up, ready to bring you some fuego in your days, nights, weekends, or whenever you're listening to the show today. But after this show, I think you're going to want to think about podcasts, getting on shows, and using a professional service to get on shows, because we're talking to a legend in the game, Mr. Ryan Estes. Ryan, are you ready to be real?
I'm ready to be real, Travis. Thanks for that great introduction.
Let's go. Ryan is an American Buddhist entrepreneur. I want to talk about that. I love that. The practice of Buddhism is an incredible thing, and I'd like to hear more about that as more and more of us are doing meditations and things like that. But now he's, he runs an agency. Kitcaster is a podcast booking agency facilitating thousands of conversations, obviously, and he's helped create this by serving 150 agency clients and gearing up to now launch their software product too. We're going to talk about that as well. But dude, talk to me about this. Have you always been into podcasts?
Yeah, I think from the beginning, I kind of got into podcasts with some monumental, terrible commute. This is when you had to plug your iPod into your computer and download them, back then. So I really got excited about it and was like, wow, once you kind of open up and you realize there's podcasts about anything. So I started recording my own podcast, and I've done that for 12 years.
Tell me about your show.
It's actually no more.
Oh, no more. But that's the start to the business. You got too damn busy to lead it right in. But so you started. So tell us about the show then. When you were first starting, what was the show? What was it about? Who are you bringing on?
You bet. So the first show I did was called 8th Grade Ball. And it was a transition I was going through. I was a musician and made records and toured and had bands and stuff.
Nice.
And partied, probably too much.
Me too, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. And then I had 2 new babies. And, local music is not necessarily the fulcrum of commerce, if you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So I had
you're gigging for $50 or something. You know what I mean? You're losing money. I'll get drinks for you or something like that. You're gigging for drinks or something.
Yeah, exactly. You can't buy, milk with drink tickets. So what are we going to do here?
Right.
So I had to kind of put my music career aside, and it hurt, but what I realized is that it wasn't the music as much as I missed the camaraderie with my guys, so I started this podcast basically as a way to get them back over drinking beers and hanging out.
Nice.
And just talking trash,
Nice.
So it was a really fun podcast, and kind of eased me into this second portion of my career. So from there, I started a podcast called the Denver Business Podcast that became the Talk Launch Podcast, which was a founder's podcast, and kind of complemented my media and marketing agency. So I brought in founders, CEOs, and talked to them about what's the pain points in their business, how are they finding traction and growth, and based on their answers, off air, I was able to kind of pitch them services. It was kind of a Trojan horse into our service. But not only that, though, it was absolutely transformative. And I realized that I just love talking to these guys. I love talking to founders and startup people. These were my people, so this gave me a open door to have these conversations, which was really the inception of Kitcaster. So now my podcast is kind of on permanent hiatus. We'll just say we're in between seasons,
right?
Because I get to have these conversations all the time now. It's my job. So
different. It's changed. It's changed for you.
Yeah, it's changed, man. It's good.
And when did you start Kitcaster? When did you start the actual business?
Kitcaster launched officially September 2019.
Bang!
Yeah, we're new, and we started kind of with a pilot program about 6 months before that.
Dude, and tell me about kind of the people that you really gravitate to, the kind of people that really love, your service, keep coming back every month, because we always like clients, but we don't want them to come just one time. You don't want them to come and just do one run of shows with you. You want them to come back month after month. Like when I started my social media agency, I think back on some of my customers that have been with me for 10, 12 years now.
Yeah.
The same customer every month.
Yeah, it's great.
Monthly. So you're doing something right when you do that. So tell me about the people that are gravitating to you that just love working with you.
You bet. Monthly recurring revenue is king. And so it's kind of funny that, we're taking our cues from SaaS models, subscription models. It's a little bit different as a service product, but there's some similarities, and we certainly sell our service as a product. So the people that we serve is kind of three people, funded startup founders, entrepreneurs with exits, C-suite executives, people that are essentially super jazzed about what they're birthing into the world.
Right. And as far as, because I know the process of just getting on shows and things like that, I know my show, for instance, we have a big problem because I only have so much time, right? So
yeah.
If I could podcast all day long and I was getting paid $100 million like Joe Rogan, I'm podcasting all day long. But
let's go.
For most of us, we're doing this still as a hobby / it is bringing in revenue / it's fun, learning, mentorship. So many things that have come from me in the last 10 years of doing the show that I've learned and experienced. And the show is bigger than ever, right? But my time is so jammed. And when constant inbound emails from people like Kit Caster and other agencies, let's just be real, that, hey, I need to get my guest on your show. And they're booking out in February or March right now on my show, then the long tail process, and I've been telling people this, it's podcast is the long tail game.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just, immediate, bam, I'm getting on the show. I mean, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but it's still the long tail of the show being out there forever. And the fact that sometimes when you're booking in March, you're not going to be, live until April, May. Right.
Absolutely.
And so it's just part of the process too, I think, of some of these clients, maybe to understand that. In a lot of other things, it's immediacy. Like I run some Google ads, it immediately sends traffic to my website, spiked up, blah, blah, blah. In this, it's different because it's just a longer tail process of, how do you explain that to them?
We really kind of dive into what the outcomes they want.
Gotcha.
Because there's ways that we can facilitate the outcomes they're looking for. And then there's also unexpected outcomes that they're not even expecting. One of those is just like the personal development of learning how to speak to somebody for an audience. It's a nuanced skill.
Right.
A lot of folks, maybe they've got experience in like public speaking. That's a lot different. It's a lot more formal. There's maybe more rehearsing. You got to look a little bit better than with podcasting, except for you, because you're beautiful. I mean,
let's go, baby.
So in podcasting, what you'll find is that, like, particularly if you're going to represent your brand, you're going to represent your product, you're very passionate about it, but you walk this line of like, who am I as a person? How do I relate to an audience as a person? And how do I welcome them into what the topics or like the product that I'm working on? It's a nuanced and kind of difficult thing, especially in the beginning, because what people will find is that big emotions come up. Travis, you've been doing this a long time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like you behind a mic is very natural in the commander seat. But like, if you start going on other people's podcasts, it'll have this novel feeling. Like there's something that comes up and you're like, whoa,
absolutely.
This is a different thing.
It's different when you have to tell your story. It's easier still because your boy's been doing this for 10 years. And so I'm not afraid to spike it up and be a little crazy and act like a little spot and then go back quiet. And do these things that I know how to do in my show because I've been doing it for so long that's just, even if I come on another show, but still it's completely different. Me being the host, I got the format, baby. I got the format. I know the playbook. I do these things 4 back to back, baby, on a Monday.
Yeah.
If I go on someone's show, I don't know necessarily how long we're going to go. We're talking about all sorts of things and a lot of things come up that we weren't even planning talking about. And so telling your story is a craft. It's a skill. And it's something that this is what you are offering to them is these opportunities to get on stages. It's some virtual, all virtual in podcasting. But let's just be real. But you're still interacting and you're having this moment where this is going to help you in your other aspects of your life. And
everywhere. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the key part. That's the other key part that these people need to remind themselves about when they're thinking about, the podcasting, because sometimes it is going to be immediate, and then sometimes it's going to be a long tail, but most importantly, you're developing along the way.
You're definitely developing along the way. And And the other thing is too, that we help people, find their story, because everybody's got a pivotal moment story. Everybody has a humble beginning story. Even you're born a silver spoon, you're Elon Musk's kids, whatever, man. Maybe you only had one scoop of ice cream when you were a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Something.
It's hard out there.
There's always something, baby.
Yeah. And that's how people relate to you is being vulnerable. Everybody wants to hear about your vision for the future. So we help them like go through kind of some of their anecdotes, what works at parties, what's that punchline you've got to the story that works. We can kind of organize those, because people want to know you're a good person. People want to know that you care about other people. People want to know that sure, you want to make money, but there's a service component behind that. So we help them do that.
Love that. So important. So you're coaching them along the way before they even go on the outreach. And then once you are out there, you have a team that's just outreaching to podcasters and presenting bios and interacting and kind of booking the process too then.
That's right. Absolutely. We're creeping up to maybe 20 people at Kitcaster, and we've got 2.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. We have
awesome.
2 kind of quota carrying salespeople, and then the rest are 3 admin, and the rest are agents. And where we take it really personally is like you're saying, like we're preparing the person. We want to make sure it's a strong product, but really what we're selling is the conversation. Like we know that if you're going to Travis, like we want these points of a conversation that Travis can pick up and run with. Right. So that's really what we're doing. Our mission is celebrate good conversation, and just facilitating podcast interviews is an extension of that.
It's a beautiful thing, dude. It's a great business model. And it is just scratching the surface. I think more and more people are going to take this serious. Founders, entrepreneurs, C-suite level, and then all sorts of all different levels of that too. I mean, I think more people will take that seriously. And as your podcast network grows, you're able to service more people as you get more podcasters like the Be Real Show and things like that under your belt, then you're able to facilitate a bigger network too as well.
Absolutely. Totally. And, our business is based on relationships and reciprocity, so without folks like you and these great shows,
right.
And that's why we're in the kind of the vertical that we are, because your shows like you, people come to this show looking for resources. You know what I mean? Everyone subscribes to Tim Ferriss and Rogan and whoever. You got Snoop Dogg on there, but you're going there you're going there for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like the business categories, entrepreneurship, marketing, all of these things, you have a lot of people that are entrepreneurs themselves, and they're looking for resources. They're looking for tools. Right. They're looking for things that they can implement in their business and make them better.
Absolutely.
So that's why, the business categories are so valuable to us, because the audience are there in earnest to get something out of it.
And some of them might be like, like in some cases, like it's the person that runs digital marketing for Papa John's or some big person that could literally, make a big move in your business if you come on the Be Real Show, and that's just one of the listeners is just that person.
Absolutely.
The next person could be this person. It's a different type of listener too, that's listening to these shows, and they're decision makers a lot of times, and people that are willing to make that, bigger decision if in a tool, software, etc. And I just love this, man. I love this industry. I think it's the beginning. Obviously, we got the guys like Joe Rogan that are setting the precedents and showing that, if you deliver consistently, if you have great guests and you're candid with your guests, and he's real as shit with his guests. What happens is a lot of people like you, and you'll build such an audience where you'll have a big essentially network for yourself, and bigger than some of the biggest networks on in the world has, and that's why obviously Spotify made that deal, is because they know it ain't going away. This is just scratching the surface. If more and more people get used to it, and it's a new form of radio, or it's a new form of content, that I would say it's very educational, or it's wherever you want to go with it. But like you said, in the business category, a lot of times it's very tactical. It's very, you can get something from it, and then today make a change in your business that changes it dramatically, or have a door opened, or the person says a sentence that just brings some light to you in your situation. Unlike a Joe Rogan, where it's just more of a conversation and some things and you pick stuff up on that one too. But like you said, it's more for the entertainment purposes, and you enjoy that too. So I think the space is just getting bigger as you have more people in it, as you have more money in the space, funding in the space, and folks like you, man, in the middle, helping things happen, man, helping things happen. So I think you're in a prosperous situation, my brother. But now we're about to take you into the top 10. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Instagram or Facebook?
Neither,
baby. Chicken or steak?
Oh, tough call.
Or vegetarian, depends. I mean, we have vegetarians too.
I'm gonna go steak,
baby. Let's go the little cheat meal. Laptop or smartphone?
Oh, smartphone.
Spotify or Pandora?
Spotify.
Movies or video games?
Movies.
Reading books or listening to books?
Audiobooks all day.
I remember I had Tom Billy on. I said, I did 3x speed, 4x speed.
Oh, God
damn, Tom. Let's go, you beast ass fool. Let's go. He's a beast from the East. He's probably on 5x now. He keeps going a little higher. But yeah, even 1.5, you can get through a book faster. Some authors, if they're reading slow, you can do 2x, and you can actually get through a book pretty dang quick if the author's like slow, Gary
no doubt.
You got to go 1.5 negative so you can just speed it down.
Speed
is all the way down, baby.
Yeah.
But that's just another life hack in life. If you're outside, if you're doing things and using that time to learn, outside of the business, stocks or real estate to diversify.
Stocks,
liquid, oceans or lakes. If you deserve a vacation, you're leaving on the Denver airport today, baby. We're out of here.
Rivers, bro.
Rivers, let's go. What do you love about the rivers? Nothing like the flow of the water.
Fly fishing. I like those big trout.
Fly fishing, dude.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's another way that you get to, kind of escape and, de-stress in some situations.
Oh, it's all I really want to do, to be honest. That's it.
There we go. So like Amazon, like Jeff Bezos really wants to just explore space. So my dude, at the end of the day, he's going to be running this behemoth business so that he can do more fly fishing, baby.
Yeah,
we go on tour.
Mars.
Mars. I got all the fish in the streams, baby.
That's
you have a favorite river that you like to fish on?
Oh boy. Tough question. I would say the Gallatin in Montana.
The Gallatin. Ooh, that sounds like it could have some huge fish.
Yeah, it's a wild river. It's not dammed. Wow. It comes right out of Yellowstone. It's incredibly beautiful, and it's also, I'm in Denver, so it's a little bit of sacrifice to get to the Gallatin, but boy, it is good times.
It's worth it. It's worth every second.
Yeah.
There you go. So when you're waking up for your day, you're getting pumped, energized, ready for the day. Why do you love being you?
Why do I love being me? I love my family. That makes it a lot easier.
Describe the fam.
You bet. My wife and I've been married 17 years, and I've got a freshman in high school daughter, and my son's in 7th grade.
Wow. The boy and a girl. That's what I got too, but they're a little younger. I got almost 3-year-old and a 7-month-old.
Oh, nice, man.
We're just getting started, baby. We're just getting started on the journey. I was a late bloomer, but that's all right. I love being a dad. It's one of the biggest blessings you could ever experience in this life. And, I only can imagine at the high school age with the daughter. It's really exciting. She had a scrimmage this weekend. She's playing basketball. Nice. She made JV as a freshman. She scored 20 points. Baller. I know. I was so excited. That's awesome, dude. Dude, that is awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity now more than ever for females, in the WNBA is a big thing, as well as just the discipline you learn from team sports. If anything, that's the most important thing you can get out of it, I think. 100%. Girls basketball too is kind of a different game. It's a much more of a team game. Right. It's a lot of passing and good plays. You're like actually running plays. I mean, high school basketball for boys is just like up and down the court. Boom, 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 boom. So it's really fun to watch. It's very true. Very tactile, baby. Let's go. Do you think you ever retire from the game of entrepreneurship and business? Nah. Forget that. We're fly fishing and working all day. You have a routine on starting your day? If I'm like really, I will say it this way. If I follow my routine 2-3 times
a week, I feel like I'm doing a good job, so that just entails getting up early and breaking a sweat where I can,
Yes.
I've been nursing an injury, so I've been doing some kettlebell stuff.
Nice.
Doing little kind of modified CrossFit stuff in the morning. But if I start my day, breaking a sweat, my day is going to be fantastic.
It's just nothing like that, dude. There's just nothing like that. You're so right. Is there a skill you're trying to master right now or get better at?
Yeah. I'm a jiu-jitsu player.
Shit. So watch out. Hey,
I'm a purple belt jiu-jitsu.
Oh, hey, TF ain't, he's out. He's 6'8", but he's tapped out. I'm the negative belt. Let's go.
I do capoeira as well.
Oh, wow.
Which is another Brazilian martial arts, believe it or not.
This
but
badass right here, folks. Watch out on him on the fly fishing zone. No cross his line.
That's right. It'd be bad for it. No.
Discipline. It's a discipline. I know.
It's a discipline, and really, what it is it's a language to interpret reality. I mean, I think one thing that was really interesting about music is that everything becomes analogy for music. So the way you're engaging with the world is with rhythm, or are you kind of leading with a melody, or like are you accompanying people with a harmony? Like you can start to see a metaphor of music in everywhere, and because it is an infinite level of understanding and development. Well, martial arts is the very same way. Like the more you train capoeira, you start to see or see the world in terms of the holda and the song and the kicks and the strikes and like all this. So it's really fascinating to me. And plus, I just love being new at stuff because, when you start at something, let's just say you suck, getting competent at that thing, that delta is greater than any other time that you're going to experience. If you go from competent to like masterful, that takes a long time, and it's very small window to find mastery. But going from like kind of sucking to being competent is a lot of terrain to cover, and it's so exciting crossing that in whatever it may be.
And it's a practice. It's a practice in another discipline in life.
That's right. It's something you do. It's not something you believe.
Right. Love that. Let's go. Just do. I always say, just do you. It's the more that you do for you, the more you can do for others, baby. Let's go. Do you have a favorite app or a tool that you use to run the business, or do you just love to use?
Favorite would be Stripe.
Stripe. Bang. Yeah. Try to get that money game.
That's right.
Get that money game right. And if you could chop it up and be real and sit down with anyone in the world to a steak dinner, who do you want to sit down with today?
Dead or alive?
Doesn't matter. We've had all the sorts of guests.
Oh, doesn't matter. Dead or alive. I'd like to sit down with the Buddha, the original Gautama Siddhartha.
Wow. What would you think if he thinks of the world today?
I think he'd be chill.
You think he'd be chill still? He'd be like, all right, we got this.
Yeah.
It's what you put in your mind, right? It's what you put in your mind.
Yeah. I just want to see his mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? I want to see like, what happens when he stubs his toe, like watching him. Like,
right.
Well,
what happens when someone cuts him off in traffic?
Like, you got all the answers, man, but I want to see this personality. What happens when you run out of seasoning for your rice and beans? Like, is Buddha getting pissed off? What's happening?
What happens when you hit the wrong Mexican food and you got a backup in the aisle too?
Yeah. What didn't make the scriptures? You know what I'm saying? Somebody messed up and got a stain on his robes. Did he hit him with a stick? Right. I mean, I don't know, but I think it'd be interesting just, as far as like, particularly like religious scriptures, like flesh out the person, everything becomes deified. And in the end, if you're talking about that, the density of those kind of scriptures, but like, who was the person?
Humans, baby.
Humans.
And souls.
Yeah.
And souls. Beautiful souls. You got a beautiful soul, my dude. Thanks, is there a book that sticks to your soul? Is there a book that has changed your life that you either reread or you just kind of keep at your heart?
There's a bunch. There's a whole bunch. Gino Wickman's Traction is a huge book for business for me. We'll keep it on this kind of the Buddha theme. There's a great book called the Tibetan Book of the Yoga of Sleep. And I love this book because it really scared the crap out of me. It's amazing because the Tibetans have like these like great technology and techniques for kind of discovering the terrain of your mind. And they've been at this for so long that it's very detailed, and so they have all these techniques for sleep and like different techniques you use when you're asleep and, you wake up, let's say 4 times during the night, typically, oftentimes it's you don't even remember that you woke up. You just like kind of change. change positions. Yeah. Yeah. But they
do some technique at that.
They do a little technique. Yeah. Wow. So like find kind of like, lucid dreaming, if you wanted to do that and this and that. And what freaked me out so much about this book is this guy was like, he's like, yeah, I become lucid in REM sleep, which is like you're dreaming and stuff. So he could kind of have maneuverability with his dreams. But there's another, there's dreamless sleep, which they call Turiya, which is essentially just nothing. There is no dreaming happening. It's just still. But you can develop conscious awareness in this space. And so what he does is he goes into dreamful sleep and finds his meditation cushion and starts meditating, goes into Turiya and still holds meditation. And it freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, there's no escape. Right. Like my brain is this like, fractal limitless trapeze set of just like consciousness developing on each other. It freaked me out, man. So I kind of quit my whole practice for like a year after that. Cause I just, it was like, it's like I saw something I shouldn't have seen.
Right. You just went down, opened the door. You're like, let's go back. Let's close that door. Let's go.
Yeah. And since then I've formed a little bit different relationship with the book and that kind of stuff. But why I like that book so much is it's so crazy that like, listening to the audiobook can have such a visceral reaction that initially for me was like fear and like a kind of an existential fear.
Right. It's like opening your mind to like when you start learning about the universe or something like that.
But what's the potency of this work? It's like pretty incredible,
It's amazing, dude. I love books, man. Nothing like a good book to change your life. And sometimes it's for the scares us for the better, So I think it's a great place. Can you give our listeners where your favorite place for them to learn about the business is?
Kitcaster.com.
Bam! Kitcaster.com. And then do you have any favorite places for you outside of, you said you don't like any social, but are you on LinkedIn or any other platforms for you personally?
Yeah, I am on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. Nice. I'm on Reddit if you can find me.
There you go. So Ryan Estes on LinkedIn. If you guys go type that in and definitely check out their website. What you guys are doing is incredible. I think that the business is in it's still infancy because the industry is infancy, but you guys are obviously in the driver's seat doing something right, baby, growing, providing that service level. And we love taking your customers and clients too, man. You always have an open door on the Be Real show. But dude, thank you so much for your time today. Folks, you've been hanging out with the legend of the game, of podcast of life. Seriously, think about this. Life is so blessed, and to be able to do things like you've been doing, somewhat transition your passion, if you want to call it. You were in the music game, love being on the stages, love performing, love that. But hey, we got to pay the bills, baby. This is another form of that. And you get to perform, you get to get your clients perform. It's the same kind of almost experience, but you're the coach, you're the agent, you're the conduit to this whole beautiful thing, man. So keep doing that, baby. Keep the engine going. Keep fly fishing, and I appreciate your soul, man. Folks, you've been hanging out with Mr. Ryan Estes and Travis Too Tall and Huff. We want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real.
What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today. Do you want to get featured on podcast, guys? You can be a guest. And that's right. You have a story, and the people, the good folks at I Love Podcasts. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Do that every single day. This is a new company, guys, in the space of podcast agency. And they realize a lot of the people in the space it's just a commodity, and they don't care. And these folks care. And I literally love Kenny and the team at I Love Podcasts, and they are doing it right for their customers. So you guys can be a guest on a show. ilovepodcast.com. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Let's go.